Hello, and welcome to this demonstration of SimDiff from EnSoft Corp. SimDiff is the world's #1 differencing and merging tool for Simulink models. It's used by every major aerospace, automotive, and defense company worldwide. Let's compare the sample models that come with SimDiff. In this example, we'll compare MDL models, but SimDiff also supports the newer SLX format. There are two modes to choose from. Comparison mode is optimized for reviewing changes, while merge mode allows you to merge changes. Select the model files you want to compare. You can optionally select which subsystem to compare. The base model represents the common ancestor of the left and right models. It is optional, but if you provide it, SimDiff will produce better results. You can also optionally compare workspace variables and break library links. So here we can see the results. The window contains two trees. The left tree is our Simulink model with the changes that we've made. The right tree is the Simulink model with changes made by our colleague. Each difference is numbered and colored. Blue indicates a change, red a deletion, and green an addition. You can customize these colors in the preferences. There's also a legend that describes the colors and icons in SimDiff. Now let's take a look at the status bar at the bottom of the window. This shows how long the comparison took and how many changes have been made to the models. You can mouse over each item for more detail. This comparison of the sample models took less than half a second. But even with large models, SimDiff runs quickly. SimDiff can compare models with thousands of blocks in 15 seconds or less, and 20 megabyte MDL files with more than 30,000 blocks in less than a minute. This fast and accurate comparison is a result of the graph theory research at EnSoft. Let's take a closer look at a difference. The actual speed block is highlighted light blue. This means the block has one or more changed attributes. We can click on the block in either tree, and SimDiff will show a comparison of the attributes at the bottom of the window. The attributes panel shows that the constant block value was changed from 400 to 500. We can view differences in Simulink by double-clicking them or by clicking on this toolbar button while the difference is selected. SimDiff has highlighted the currently selected block in Simulink. By default, it also highlights changed, deleted, and added blocks to match the colors used in SimDiff's two trees. Click these buttons to step through changes one at a time. Let's find a change that we remember making to the left model recently. The red bar indicates that this is a conflicting change. The attributes panel shows that the conflict occurs because the name was changed in both the left and the right models. Suppose we want to ignore differences in block names. We can right-click the name attribute and add it to a filter. With the name attribute filtered out, SimDiff no longer considers the block to be changed. By default, an attribute filter applies to all element types. For example, this subsystem's name was changed from Kalman filter to radar Kalman filter. This change is filtered out, as you can see by the filter icon in the attributes panel. This change will affect the interface in generated code since the function name will be based on the subsystem name. So we probably want to limit our name filter to certain types of blocks. We'll need to fine-tune the filter. From the filters editor, we can add, edit, and remove filters. We can also enable and disable them as needed. SimDiff comes with built-in filters that exclude attribute sets that are almost always unimportant. You can disable the built-in filters if necessary. In this case, we want to modify the name filter so it only applies to certain types of elements. Right now, the filter applies to all elements. Let's exclude subsystems from the filter. You can type the name of an element or copy and paste it from the list on the right side. Notice that the subsystem name is no longer filtered, and SimDiff detects the change in the subsystem block. SimDiff is currently showing all model contents, including blocks with no differences. Let's clear our search and adjust the view to only show items with changes. Reviewers can keep track of their progress by checking off changes as they review them. Review progress is shown in the status bar. Next, let's look at the auditing panel. Here, you can add auditing information, such as tags and notes, for the selected model elements. The username and date are automatically filled in. You can save the auditing information to an XML file and later load it back into SimDiff. You can also include the auditing information in a change report. The change report can be saved in either HTML or XML format. HTML is the preferred format for viewing. XML is more convenient for automated post-processing with an external tool. SimDiff can use Simulink to generate screenshots for your change report. The report includes information about the models, a legend, a summary of the differences, and detailed tables. There's also a linked table of contents for easy navigation. Just as in the SimDiff application, the differences are numbered. You can click screenshot images to view them at full resolution. This was just a quick overview of SimDiff in comparison mode. SimDiff also has several other capabilities that we didn't cover, such as exporting highlighted copies of your models, repository integration, subsystem diff, workspace comparison, breaking library links, and MATLAB and command line interfaces. Let's compare the same model files, this time using merge mode. In merge mode, we need to specify where the merged results will be stored. By convention, this is usually the left model. However, we can also provide a separate output model file. Merge mode has most of the same capabilities as comparison mode, but also allows us to merge changes from the right model into the left model, or output model. You can follow merge progress in the status bar. Let's find some interesting changes to merge. A terminator block was removed from inside the radar common filter subsystem, and a new terminator block was added outside the subsystem. We want to add this terminator block to our model. To do this, we simply click on the merge arrow and SimDiff adds the change. SimDiff applies the merge actions in Simulink. These modifications appear as unsaved changes in the Simulink model. We can see the merge block in our model and move it around. This signal is connected to the terminator block and also to a port that doesn't yet exist in the output model's Kalman filter. What happens if we try to merge it using SimDiff? SimDiff detects the dependency and creates the third output that we need. We can see the dependencies that SimDiff detects by looking at the Dependencies tab at the bottom of the SimDiff window. Here we see that the line we copied depends on both the terminator block and the third output of the Kalman filter. This is how SimDiff knew to create the output and to give it the correct name. You can also undo and redo merge operations. There are still a few changes in the model that we haven't merged yet. We can merge the contents of an entire subsystem, including subsystems beneath it, using the Hierarchy Merge button. To see exactly what the hierarchy merge did, we can look at the event log. Notice the entry at the beginning of the hierarchy merge operation, the changes made, and the entry to mark the end of the hierarchy merge. At any time while using SimDiff, you can export the event log to a file if you would like to have a record of all the modifications SimDiff makes to the model. The status bar shows that SimDiff merged all the non-conflicting changes, but it looks like there's still one conflicting change left. Let's look at the event log to find out why. Here it is. For safety, hierarchy merge skips conflicting changes since only you can determine which change is correct. We can use the Next Conflict button to jump to the conflicting change. Our colleague's change looks better than our change, so let's go ahead and merge the conflicting change. Now all the changes are merged. When you're finished merging, you can simply save the left model. This was just a quick overview of SimDiff in merge mode. To try SimDiff on your own models, request a trial at simdiff.com.